All right. So first off, I just want to thank you guys for being here. We are going to be rocking 7 webinars, 7 live streams. I know. All about building your business from the ground up. I picked these different webinar topics because I thought about my business and what I needed to know, and what I've needed to know like over the years. The good news is they will all be recorded. Now, if you're seeing this on Facebook, go into the events section and you can sign up actually for this. It's called 10 ways to make money, 10 different profitable, and you will see the event right there, and you can sign up so you get the replay page so that you don't have to scroll and find all this great stuff. But I just want to welcome everyone. Can you pop in the chat box and tell me where you're coming from? Everyone a little shy tonight. Okay, here we are. California, UK. So yeah, Anita, I will get down to business fast. Jersey, hello. Tony, just talked to you. It was great. Great to talk to you. Sandy, Angelina, hi guys. So I just want to put it out here first off is that I had this amazing conversation with Tony today, as well as about, I don't know, 15 other coaches that I've talked to since Thursday night. Do not be shy. Do not think that because I'm giving my phone number out that I won't take the time to really sit down and not just talk about your business, but really identify what programs you need. What is that system? So when I say system, and I just want to make sure I have a pen on me. When I say system, I mean, oh, who stole my pens? Maybe my children. When I say system, I mean the following, which is you have to think about what your clients need from point A to point C. You also have to think about the emotional pain points, the spiritual pain points. This is what we talked about last night. And a lot of people are having problems, a lot of coaches, and I talked about this with Tony today. Even if you focus on the emotional aspect, the spiritual aspect of change, I have found in the many years of coaching that I had to come in through what I told Tony today, the back door. That meant that I knew we were focusing on the spiritual. I knew we were focusing on habits. I knew we were focusing on the mindset and changing our life through really soul. But many people didn't hire me. Like if I would have said, hey, you know, you can pay X amount of dollars to be with me. And Tony was laughing when I said this today. Can pay X amount of dollars to be with me. We're going to dive into the deepest and darkest places of your soul that are holding you back from living the most abundant life. We're also going to dig so deep that you may cry. You may be angry. You are going to maybe say, I can't do this anymore. But on the other side of that is your life. It's freedom. Well, that works maybe for some people. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of coaches. Lisa Verbega, Nisha Moodley, who is one of my coaches, tons of coaches out there that are mindset and transformational coaches. But I've also seen them in the entire existence of their business. And they didn't necessarily start out that way. They knew that mindset was a part of it, but they had to build that authority. And they also, in the beginning, for some coaches, not all, had to go in through what I call the back door. Meaning that if you are working with one of our mindset programs or you're attracted to one of our mindset programs, such as Revitalize, Reset Your Life in 21 Days, and Mindset Makeover, I consider those the emotional transformational programs that we have. You still have to message it right. For example, you want to change your mindset so that you never have to diet again. I'm going to help you change your mindset so that you can make more money in your life, in your career. I'm going to change your mindset so you can have more intimacy with your loved ones, with your husband or your significant other or your partner. I'm going to help you change your mindset so that you do not binge eat at night and feel like a failure. I'm going to help you change your mindset. Do you see kind of, or I'm going to help you change your mindset so you don't run to sugar when you feel stressed. And when Tony and I talked today, and this was why I really encourage you, my phone is right here. She's right here. My number is 561-451-5300. Because when we talked, Tony had a breakthrough. Because it's really easy to get, we know, and Tony is, I'm just going to call you out, Tony. I hope that this is okay. Use it as an example. We know that we want to focus on the mindset. Like, we know that's part of our soul. It's what calls to us. We know that that's why we're here, but that's not always the message that somebody hooks into. They're attracted to it. I mean, look at the work of Mastin Kipp, Gabby Bernstein, Danielle Delaporte, we could just go on. But people are attracted because they feel like there's a result that you're providing them. So always think, when you're thinking about how am I pulling people in, the result, which actually leads us to tonight, how to create an epic work with me page. Now, I've done this presentation and I've done this presentation actually many times, and I wanted to pull from a webinar that I did for my good friend Reed Davis, who I taught actually for his school, this same presentation. I also teach this when I teach at Hippocrates as well, about business. So I really want you to think about the programs, not just where you can use them online, because some of you may be like how I was. I was like, I don't want to work in groups. I felt more comfortable face-to-face. I felt more comfortable in Skype one-on-one. I felt more comfortable in a one-on-one place. But I soon realized that there were some people that A, couldn't afford me one-on-one, or B, weren't ready to commit. I call this the non-committal crew. It doesn't mean that they can't make changes. It just means that they aren't ready to commit to a longer program. Or non-committal programs, and this, I call them gateway, because it's the gateway to your one-on-one. It's the gateway to working with you. It could even be the gateway on a single session. So we're going to build out a work with me page, but I also want you to think about our gateway programs. The raw program, the detox, and the cleanse, which is based, the theme of this season. Of course, it's seasonal eating. We'd never take that away. It's based on the elimination diet. It has seasonal beans and seasonal grains. You could easily take that out and turn this into a paleo or grain-free or primal cleanse. Or you could look at our grain-free and actually buy grain-free and the basic or the rockstar cleanse, and actually make that like a transition from having some seasonal beans and grains to grain-free. Any of the programs like Easy Weight Loss, a non-committal program is usually between 7 to 14, maximum 21 days. I would say 21 days can be on the higher, but there's non-committal, I mean, like somebody's like, oh, I could pull off 7 days. I could pull off 14. So I want you to think of those, and then I want you to think about, where are you taking them? So even in your work with me, like if you're getting on the phone and somebody's, doing a strategy call, and they say, so tell me the different ways to work with you. We lose out so much when we just say well, here's one way to work with me. Because think about the different, and I always say Sally, Jane, and Jack. These are the different psychological needs. Jane is, like I said the other day, she has it all figured out. She's that A-type driven personality. She works corporate, very successful, has kids. She eats perfectly until late at night when she binges. Then you have Sally, a stay-at-home mom. She's really happy, but she's not really. She feels alone, even though she's always doing play dates and at little gym and music classes with her kids. She has 2 kids under the age of 4. And so she's like throughout the whole day just kind of eating, and she doesn't even know how this is happening. And then at night she just feels overwhelmed. And she too binge eats as soon as the kids get, to sleep. And then you have Jack. Jack is just a really busy guy. He is driving in his car, literally like at 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning, an hour and a half commute, and an hour and a half commute on the way home. And he goes to work with a donut, coffee and cream, and all that stuff, tons of sugar in it, and gets to work and is like, oh my God, I'm so hungry still. But goes up to work, and so by the time he gets there, then eats a bagel, and then it's like just takeout, drive-through, and gets home, and he's like, I'm starving. You know, he's drinking Coca-Cola the whole day, but he is the kind of person that says, I just have to change. My doctor said something's going on. I have to change. He is totally ready to commit. Jane is like, I've got to figure it out. I don't need anyone, but I'll do that single session because I've got it all figured out. Sally is like, I don't know what to do. Can we talk about it? Like, talk about what I need. So you all have a Jane, a Jack, a Jane, a Sally, and a Jack, always. And you probably have about 25 more different psychological needs, different makeups, different avatars even. So the reason I name them is that it helps me also to explain to you guys how my brain works, in the sense that I always think about like the human part of it and the human connection and what people need and what they're not getting. So without me chatting anymore, we are going to get down to business. If you pop a question in the chat box, if you're on Facebook, I can't see your questions. I will come back to them later. If you are on our webinar, which is, of course, why you would want to be there, like I said, go in and make sure that you sign up through the Zoom. You will be able to get on this webinar and ask the questions that you really need to ask. If you want to put a question in the Q&A box, you can do that also, but I will look at the chat box. Okay, who is ready? Can I get a yes? Give me a second while I pull up my PowerPoint. And y'all know I love interaction. Can't believe I actually say y'all. That is like really crazy, right? Because I am a Philly girl, heart to heart. And yet I live in Florida. And I find myself saying y'all a lot, which is insane. Okay, so let's get down to business. What you are seeing here, and I'm going to keep it, let me just make sure that I see my chat box so that the chat box is right there so I can answer any questions for you guys. Oh, good, Lisa, you say y'all. It's crazy. I never thought I would say y'all. So let's talk about a work with me, and then we're actually going to build out a work with me on a Word document. And so that you guys can see just how I think a great work with me flows. So first off, when I say the word niche, and let me just even put this in a format view so that we can see, and I'm not going to take you through the whole thing. I promise I will do this for you guys, but not tonight. Okay, so your perfect niche, right? Maybe you don't know why or who your niche is. So let's just break that down real quick. Write this down on your journal or a pad. The niche is the very people that you serve. It's their wake-up problem that they are having. That if you're waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning, what is it, guys? That's liver time, 1 to 3. If you're waking up at 4, that is the adrenals being weak. 1 to 3, liver imbalances. What do we need? We need a cleanse. We need a detox. That's why for me, the detox is the foundation of everything. Everything. I even had a coach say to me tonight, I'm not going to sell the detox, but I'm going to buy it so I can do it. It's the wake-up problem that you're having. So if I wake up and say, oh my God, my skin is so bad, or if I wake up and say, I wish my, digestive issues were better, or I wish I had a better body, or I wish I could, get off sugar, whatever the wish is, the I wish. This is what you need to think about. Your sub-niche, it's their very wake-up points, pain, problems, everything that they're experiencing. But it could be a sub-niche of that. So say you're working with people with weight loss, that's like a general. It's like saying, I'm a lawyer. And you're like, what kind? Are you a bankruptcy lawyer? Do you write contracts? Do you do real estate? Do you do trademark? It's the same thing with weight loss. So when you niche down, you're actually saying, I work specifically with women who are between the ages of like 40 to 60. We're struggling to lose weight because they have hormone imbalances, or they're struggling to lose weight because they're going through menopause. Or I work with women who are, who want to lose weight because they just had a baby. Or I work with women, or I work with men and women who want to lose weight because they have been suffering with, digestive issue. I mean, you niche it down, and that's just taking it further and further and further. I could say, just like I work with people with autoimmune, and that's pretty big. So if I say I work with, men and women who have an autoimmune, who are looking for natural solutions, they want to understand what tools they need to have in their back pocket so that they don't feel disempowered, and they know how to cleanse their body naturally, restore their digestive health, and also change their mindset so their gut doesn't override and have imbalances and then cause histamine reactions. That was actually more the message of actually, and if you heard that, we talked about like a few niches and even sub niches. So speak to your niche. And if you are a new coach, or you don't even know, maybe you just this was like not clear. I want you to think about your story. I said this before, think about your story. Then I want you to say, okay, who are the very people that I could serve? And then when you think about building out a great work with me page, and we're going to build it out, I promise we won't be on this like forever tonight. I'm just going to put my phone here so I can make sure. I want you to think about giving substance on your work with me page. I don't feel like people are hiring for just a 250-minute session. I feel that people need to, just like when you buy a car, and I explained when I, bought my new truck, I looked on the side, what is this include? And I needed to know the base level, the second, and then what packages I could add to that. Sorry, my allergies. Maybe I need a little quercetin or vitamin C or nettle. So the same thing applies on your work with me. You're going to, 1, have a better conversion. 2, you're going to truly speak to your niche and show them a system. I keep saying system because sometimes, and how many of you have had this, feel free to raise your hand or say in the chat box, yes, or say on Facebook, how many times have you felt like you have a program, but it's not really a true system that's pulling people in? And the reason that people, thank you for the honesty, guys, with raising the hand, because I had that year 1 and 2, and it's why I struggle. It's why I made, 13,000. Then it was like 27,000. That wasn't even going to pay for Montessori school for my babes. When I broke 6 figures was when I was sitting here, and I just talked about this last night. I sat there and said, I need to have a very clear system. And that was when I came out of the scrambling and pulling different recipes and created the first detox and elimination diet. And then I realized I needed a system after that to take my clients into the next step. And I created Revitalize, and I created a grain-free program, and I created weight loss, and because they were the very steps that I saw my clients needing. So always remember, you may in your head say, well, this is the certain niche I need, but I'm telling you, if you really listen, if you step back and let soul allow to, what your niche needs, your people will tell you. Just have to listen. So here, an example, 2 50-minute sessions, access to my signature digestive wellness handouts, access to my signature detox and elimination program, access to my gut rebuilding plan, unlimited emails and text support, recorded Skype calls or Zoom, detailed notes for you. You might also, in this, and this could be, again, this could be a 1 month, this could be a 2 month, and I always say, and we're going to build it out, single session. I'm going to tell you why. You might, and we all know nobody has these like, whoop, kind of change, although some people do in single sessions. Seen it happen. It can be, very transformational. Um, but most often we see that transformation 30, 45 days, 60, 90, and really, when we get into those longer months when we're working with somebody. But not everyone is going to jump on board, so we need to give really great value. And so this could speak, of course, to somebody who is detox, cleanse, and gut. So this system, if you are thinking about, well, what program do I buy for this, would be detox, could be going to grain-free, and then gut repair. If you feel that grain-free is not part, and grain-free is great for, per the work of Dave Asprey or Terry Walls or Reed Davis or, many of the paleo primal belief system, is that phytic acid, really messes with our hormones and our endocrine system. The grains, if they're not soaked in beans, can also inhibit our hormones in our thyroid and the endocrine system and our metabolism. So some people have found real aha moments when they move. And the grain-free program that I wrote, the reason I wrote it was that when paleo became huge, I actually had so many coaches as well as people hiring me and saying, I'm not doing too well. So the reason that I don't put a huge amount of like bacon, fat, and lard and all of that into the programs is I wanted them to be grain-free, but easy to digest. Everything's about digestion. If that process, if the gallbladder, and when I talk about Anne-Louise Diddleman in the interview we did together, if the gallbladder is not functioning well because the liver is congested, what's going to happen? Bile flow is not going to be healthy. And then what's going to happen? Detoxification doesn't happen. So everyone has to work in the playground in a really nice symbiotic relationship. It's never just, and I hate when people say this, you got gut problems, just add a probiotic. It's not, it's looking at the whole system. And it's not just that, is there intestinal dysbiosis? We can't just, again, be like, here, shooting darts. We need to take people through a system so that they start to say, wow, I was eating, all these nuts and I realized I didn't feel that great. So just remember, sorry, my husband just said something. Just remember that it's really important to think about the system that you have that will also help to uncover what is happening for your client, and so that they also have that aha moment. The next slide that we're going to look at is a 3 months. Now remember, the build out, I would go a little more into detail. Some of you may be minimalists on your page. Some of you might like to put a lot. Either way, here is 3 months to hormonal happiness. 90-minute intensive, followed by a 60-minute. And I just need to move the chat box so I can read it. And 2 weeks later, followed by a 60-minute 2 weeks later. And for some of you, which I have found, is that 90-minute session has to be there. And then like a 60-minute, 2 check-ins, maybe even 2 30-minute check-ins, depending on what type of client you attract. And so signature handouts, recipes for hormonal happiness. You could even say a simple cleanse plan, cheat sheets for hormonal health foods, and then give them bonus 1 and bonus 2. Now, what program would you buy to kind of map this out? Well, 1 is that you could turn the cleanse into a hormonal reset. 2 is that, again, you could lead them to grain-free, or you could lead them to sugar, because one of the things that I know that's very marketable is sugar. I don't know many people who don't have some kind of sugar issues or blood sugar imbalances, or they don't know how to kind of biohack or learn how do they really metabolize. So then they're what? Not losing weight, or their metabolism is shot. And so the hormones, or their adrenals, which is all part of that, craving sugar, craving coffee. It's like we know that our adrenals are just tired and weak. So It could be that, or it could even be that you take the mindset makeover, start with like a detox or cleanse, or maybe the grain-free, then move them into the 3-month mindset makeover, or move them into the 21-day reset. And I say this because for a lot of people, those end programs are the mindset ones. Some of you may start with that in the beginning, but add into it your hormonal special sauce, or maybe this is about, you know, thyroid, or maybe that you specialize in gut health. So again, remember that you're looking at this, but each of this can flow based on the very people that you serve. Does anyone have a question? Okay, so let me even just stop the share, put together, I think Barbara had raised her hand, but I'm thinking that was because I had said, okay, raise your hand. So let me put together a document for a second, just bear with me, and then we are going to build out the Work With Me page. Okay, let me bring this in. So let's say that you have Work With Me. I like to see a single session. I like to see, let's just do 30 days. And then say that the next is you're jumping to 3 months. Okay? Actually, let's add a 4. Extra services. I don't like to say services, I feel like, but extra sweetness, you know, for you. Or you could say just something like extra ways to work with me. Okay, so a single session, we're going to build this out. When you sign up for the single session, you get access to. We're going to do one 60-minute session. I'm sorry. Did not like me doing that. Okay. So we're going to say one 60-minute session. Then we're going to say access to my signature. Let's just do this for weight loss. Signature weight loss program. Now, guys, this would be easy weight loss. And why would we say easy weight loss? Because in that single session, you're going to be going over their health goals. You're going to go over a program, which is going to save you a massive amount of time and energy, and also do what? Give that person something that is really valuable. So they're getting a whole program, and you're saying to them, you know, so that's pretty much, it's like a do-it-yourself, but with a single session. So you could charge whatever your price is. You want to, of course, establish your price. Establish price per single session is also important for VIP days. So when we get to the webinar on the live stream on VIP, just keep in mind, what is your price per hour? Then you can say access to a food diary, access to my weight loss recipes and handouts. And then you want to say, who is this ideal for? So I always say something like, this is ideal for the person who is ready to do it on their own and doesn't need a lot of support, but just needs the plan. You know, you can go into a little more detail. Any questions? No? Okay, we're just all watching. Okay, if there's a question, please let me know. Okay, 30 days. We're gonna just say, boom, copy. When I work with people one-on-one, we do this in detail, but we actually do this on the entire site and the entire Work With Me page. Although I was talking to Tony tonight, and we were talking about, am I going to do a group where I actually take people through this and we're all doing this interactive? And so I have to think about doing that. But let's get back to this. When you sign up for your 30-day, let's say like Healthy Mastery, you get access to. Now, this is where we really want to sweeten the deal, because we want somebody to go for the 30, although we know that Jane is going to go for the single session, right? We know Jane. And probably Sally will go for the 30 because she's like, okay, well, I can handle that. I've got kids. And you can even call this, a 30-day reboot. You can, whatever you want to name it. So we're going to say access to my signature. This could be cleanse or weight loss, guys, or grain-free, or raw, based on what you do. Also, with Revitalize, there is a 2-week weight loss program. It's vegan and omnivore options. So when you buy Revitalize, you could actually use the weight loss in the single session. Hold on, I will get to that. Let's see, in a sec. In Revitalize, and then use the 28-day portion in your 30-day program. So access to my 30 days to a new you program. Feel free to steal that. It's not like it's not like I coined that. Handouts. And this is going to be 2 50-minute sessions, or 60. Sorry, I didn't put that at the top. This could be 2 30-minute check-ins. Handouts, recipes. Need to start taking some vitamins for my eyes. Handouts, recipes, food diary, handouts on shifting mindset for cleansing, for, let's say, for weight loss. So you're kind of hitting them with a few things, or this could be even hormones. And then you can even list out. So we're really creating a 3-tier. And then this is the third. It's 3 months, and it says when you sign up for the 3-month ultimate experience. You get. And this is where you really want to map it out, so it can be like 1 90-minute. It could be 2 60. Maybe it's 2 30. It depends how you want to do per month. And then this is where you're really like taking the big shabam and saying, access to my system for healthy success and long-lasting results. So this is where I would lay out my system, meaning, is that detox to sugar to gut? Is that detox to Revitalize to 21 day? And it's not that and this is the question that was asked, like, do we automate? So what I did in my business is that I would edit all my documents. That's why I actually say to coaches all the time, edit your documents, even if you don't know what to do with them, because in that editing process, you're going to start to see it and visualize. And if you're a visual person, like myself, and I'm going to type this in, I like to use lucidchart.com. I also like to have a whiteboard because I need to see it. For me also, I do build out like funnels and Infusionsoft, but before that, I did on whiteboard, I did on paper, but I need to see the funnel, like meaning not necessarily the funnel of just the email, but what is the flow process? So whether you use a flow chart, whether you mind map, I really encourage you, or to find a group that does this kind of mind mapping, or maybe I just need to create one. John is saying, is the Easy Weight Loss in the Revive? No, Easy Weight Loss is a program by itself. I wanted to create that because the weight loss program that I added in Revitalize was an after program. I created it as a 28-day program first. It is chunked day by day for like what you need to do at each, put yourself first, food focus, committing to self. You will see the different ebooks, very similar to 21-day reset, very similar to mindset makeover. There's, and even sugar and gut have different ebooks so that it's chunked down. But that weight loss program was not a full program as far as, teaching somebody about holistic weight loss, or why do we start to, gain weight. It does have an amazing long welcome letter that I created as kind of like the mini book, but I put that weight loss program in because at the time, clients of mine, as well as some coaches, were like, my client isn't losing weight. And we all know Mark Hyman talks insulin resistance. And I just thought a lot of people, especially if there's estrogen imbalances, hormonal imbalances, candida, gut issues, pathogens, all of that, thyroid issues, have a slower metabolism or have a tougher time losing weight. And so they're not in that fuel burning mode where you can like have a very high glycemic meal and just burn it. It's like you have that high glycemic meal, and what does it do? It's stored as fat. Sugar spike, there's too much sugar in the body, it's not being converted, metabolized, and then all of a sudden it's just stored as fat. And that's what happens, unfortunately, with many people. The sugar program is a 6-week program, but I've said to coaches before, like I even talked to a coach today, you could have somebody join and not give them every ebook. If they want to do, 2 weeks, you have 2 weeks. I mean, you can give them the recipe guide and 2 weeks, but it is a 6-week program. And I would do that like right here. If you wanted to, make this a 45-day, or if you wanted to make this a 90-day and you wanted to make this a 6 month, then you're just looking at the programs on how can you fill those spots. And then taking the programs you're using on your Work With Me page, repurposing, meaning you make your work for you. You have all the programs edited. I had them in a Dropbox, but I also did have them in MailChimp. So if I did want to start somebody, I was in MailChimp at the time, if I did want to start somebody on that, I could. But most often, if I was working with them one-on-one, they didn't necessarily need support emails because I do a lot of email communication with my clients, text communication, Skype. I really was a big hand holder with my clients. And so I didn't want to send them a support email every day. So I would send them just the Dropbox link and be like, hey, this is where we're starting. Here's your food diary. Sometimes I would even make Dropboxes for my clients or create a Google Doc that housed the links to like, what was it going to be like? What were we working on? Where could they find the information? So I hope that is helpful. Dawn is saying, so what program should I buy along with the sugar program so I can move from one to another? So again, this kind of goes back to what is your belief system and style. For me, I think a detox needs to be there always, whether we rename it as a reboot, a fresh start, a kickstart, clean eating, cleanse, detox, whatever you want to call it, fresh beginnings, back to the basics. There are so many names that, I mean, that would be fun, a whole class on just naming programs. So either you could start with like detox or weight loss, moving into sugar, and then the next, so you're always thinking of your funnel like this. like the beautiful hourglass body of a woman. Like, how are they coming in? What is the funnel? And where are you taking them to? Online or offline? So that means that if you wanted to go from sugar to a longer program, you could look at Mindset Makeover. You could also then just move them into group coaching with you if that was online. And if it was offline, then you can look at, sugar. And if Mindset Makeover calls to you, like, what is that next step? Sometimes the next step doesn't always mean length of program, but it means how you're building out. So that next step could actually be, hey, we're moving from weight loss to sugar, and then we're moving to a 21-day reset to really go over the mindset part so that all the work that we did sticks. Or that you take the gut program and you rename the gut program to be hormonal health through the power of the gut. So again, a lot of this is messaging. And what I'm going to do in the forums is I often go in and post launch tips. But what I'm seeing is that I'd say a lot of people know how to do a lead page or maybe create a blog or Eventbrite. But what I think is the missing part is how to message. So I will be doing more on that. Dawn, I hope that helps. And I want everyone to think about, like, what's my gateway? What's that non-committal? What's that next step? And then what is the step after? And again, those steps might pivot, meaning, I always started with a cleanse. Then I would kind of see, okay, based on what this person's saying to me, is it good to go into a weight loss or do they need to see if grain-free is right for them? Then it would kind of pivot. Like, okay, well, we're working on gut, but I'm also seeing like some other issues come up. So, do we need to pivot to a little mindset and step back? And that's I think the flow of coaching. Some of us can pivot easily because we intuitively feel that. Some of us don't, and we're just more on like the right, side brain. I think the beauty of being a great coach is to kind of go into both. And I, in the beginning when I first was coaching, I remember coming to a coaching session. I had all the handouts that I was given from my school. I was like fumbling through them. Like, I was so nervous. And I remember pulling out a handout and it was on like, understanding the type of metabolic, it was something. And my client was like, oh, I just read a whole book on that. Yeah, it's really interesting stuff. And I thought, okay, I need to get more into a result-based program with this person than just handouts. Like, our clients know so much these days, and that's not to scare anyone. It's actually exciting that people are really informed. But what I realized that day is I don't want to fumble through handouts. I don't want to have like 25 handouts. I wanted to be able to give somebody like, this is what we're going to focus on. If you feel overwhelmed, just take a step back. And sometimes in our coaching, we lay out a great work with me page like that, but you all know coaching can change. Like, really, coaching can change within what you're doing with a client. Sometimes you're like, whew, we just got off the food. Now we're talking about soul food. Now we're talking about like, connection and life and, all of that kind of different stuff. So, but this is the thing. This page is what's going to convert somebody even before the strategy session. So I always hear how to get strategy sessions. And I think, well, what about the before part? Because I am all about foundational work. Foundational is niche, message, your story, a great work with me page, having the foundation really clear and knowing who you're serving and why before you jump onto the next stuff. That's why the FOMO, the fear of missing out, and the shiny objects of all this next level planning can't happen unless you know those core foundational, and unless you have a system that allows you to step back and go, Okay, I know the 3 different options or the extra, such as, hey, do you want to do a VIP session in your home? Do you want to do one via Skype or Zoom? So that you're having those options, and you also have the confidence. That confidence comes when your work with me page is built out. And that confidence then bleeds into everything you do. It shifts your money mindset. It shifts your mindset about yourself. Because this is the thing. As a holistic entrepreneur, and some people might disagree, but there is no separation between what's happening in your life, your work, your soul, your spirit. There's no separation. So if we are in a crappy situation at home, it comes out. If we feel that confidence in our business, that even bleeds into our home. And maybe we're able to turn around the crappy situation. See, that's the power of the mind. So Anita is saying, what's the purpose of strategy sessions? And yes, strategy sessions are always free. Don't do an hour-long strategy session. I did that in the beginning of my graduation from school. I don't think it's healthy. One, you never want to be really diving in to, hey, can you tell me about your health? Asking very specific questions until a client agreement is signed. That's number one. And if you don't have templates and disclaimers and stuff, that's also why in the first 250 buyers, my lawyer, which is Sean, it's where all coaches go to get their disclaimers. I have an affiliate link as well. But his templates are great. And he's an amazing guy. He's also a great lawyer. That's why you want to have that client agreement. A discovery session or a strategy session is like you saying, so, tell me what's happening. Tell me what's going on in your life. Tell me what's not working. And tell me what has worked. And then they say, well, yada, yada, yada. And then you say, okay, so let me tell you what it would be like to work with me. There are 3 different ways to work with me. And that's also when you go from this and they say, well, you know what, I don't know if that's right. Say, well, if you want to have a do-it-yourself kind of, or you want to do a group, I will be doing that, or you can go to my site and you can see it here. And that is why having a do-it-yourself program is great. It's another funnel. It's just another entry point. So I did that in the beginning, and I remember my first do-it-yourself, I charged $87, and I charged $77. Then I tried, $37, $47. I tried all different prices, but I remember that day, that first PayPal came in, and it was a person who could not afford to work with me, and then there was a person who just didn't want one-on-one. They just were like, I just need the plan. There are a lot of people that just need the plan. So just remember that, yes, Anita, and so then you can go to sleep, because I know you're in the UK. Bless you, Mama, for being here. Is that your free session is like your first date. It's like you're going on a blind date. You're getting to know each other. You're also sharing what are the ways to work with you. And you're calling them opportunities. These are the different ways to work with me. It would be amazing to work with you. And if they give, this isn't right for me now, or I can't afford it, that's where you can also say, you can go to my site and you can see the do-it-yourself program. This is a program that you do self-paced, but you're put into my amazing community where other people just like you and myself is in there to hold you accountable to your dreams and all of this different stuff. Your do-it-yourself is always on your site. Yes, some people keep it there all year round. Some people have a little place that says like online programs at their top menu. Many different ways to do it. Some people have what would be a do-it-yourself, a non-committal program. I find that unless you do sugar and you call it a do-it-yourself, but you include like 2 sessions, I would do that because you want to guide somebody. The more non-committal, like grain-free, detox, raw, those programs are like 14 days, or you have a do-it-yourself where you buy the program, like 21 day or sugar or gut or any of the other programs that I mentioned, revitalize, anything. It's a do-it-yourself, but they do get calls, either pre-recorded or calls that you're doing via Zoom like this, and you're putting them into a Facebook group. I would say the longer programs, it's just more about giving the right support. And you can check out those different programs at www.yourhealthcoachbiz.com. I would say also even some of our opt-in freebies, like if you see an opt-in freebie in one of the programs, but you're not buying that program, but you really like it, you can email me about either our opt-in freebie systems or PowerPoint systems, even some of the opt-in freebies like the 5-day clean eating. I use that as a do-it-yourself. I use that also as a giveaway. It's really great. So many different options, guys. And I want you to kind of like, I know the head could be like, oh my God, which is why when people buy VIP, I give you a 30-minute session, as well as you're getting 15% off the entire VIP package. So, and if you need to, for some reason, swap out one of those because it doesn't align with your beliefs or how you teach or how you coach, I can do that as well. I see saying, I hope this is how I'm correctly saying your name. I am known to murder names. So, which is why I just keep it easy with my kids. Like Samantha is Sammy, Max is Max, I'm Rach. So please tell me, my good friend, because you're such an amazing, such an amazing person. Okay, just saying, okay. Just tell me, and if not, which I did with another coach, I just call her this nickname because I could not pronounce her name for the life of me, but I love her so much. So if we need to make a nickname for you, we will. Or just tell me live and call me and say, this is my name. Okay, so I will save this. And what I will also do, guys, is so it's ST. Oh, I see. It's ST. Okay, you're going to have to remind me, tell me if that's correct. What I will do for you guys, I will save this Word document. I will put this on our replay page and make sure that you have it just so it's there for you to look. It's very easy for me to link a Word document. And if we do this again, which is why I'm not going to be sending out tons of replays because I don't want your emails to be clogged up. On average, people get 147 emails daily, which is insane. And that's just because a lot of lists are sold and spam and stuff like that. So I'm not going to be sending daily replays. So make sure that you go back to your original replay page. I probably will send one, tomorrow or even Monday because, again, this is 14 days. So I want to make sure that it's not clogging your system up. But I will put this on our replay page. Just go back to your original email. And if you can't find it for some reason, just let me know. Okay. Yes. So the opt-in freebies, Tony is asking, if you look in the opt-in freebies, they aren't full programs. Like you will see, I mean, they give information, but our guides typically range are like sugar and gut, sugar, gut, 21 day, revitalize, mindset. Those guides run between 2,000 to 3,000 words. Sometimes the first week is a little longer. Our detox, grain-free, weight loss, easy weight loss, raw, our guides typically are 5,000 words. I mean, I'm a huge educator, So that's why I put a lot of information in there. So yes, 5-day clean eating is just a nice, you could even do it as a tripwire. You could do that even as a single session. There are a lot of different options, guys. And that's why I always say, really plan out, think about, right now is the perfect time to also plan out your fall. So it's like you want to be thinking about what is my system, and then you want to also be thinking about what opt-in freebies am I launching? How am I list building? What webinars am I doing? Or what local events? And so you take one of the PowerPoints and you convert it to a PDF and you send it to everyone before they even attend the event, so that people can be like on their phone just looking at it. Or you can even bring a computer like this to an event and just be going off the PowerPoint. So you want to really start thinking, what materials do you have and what's missing from your Work With Me page, or what's missing even from your, from an online program, do it yourself. And also, last but not least, and we'll just end with this, is that we can have all the programs in the world and great intention, but if we don't hone in on that message, and if we don't step out of our fear, we don't get to the next place of our coaching, and we never grow, we never make money, and then we just stay either at a job that we don't like, or we feel like a failure. And that's not what this, that's not what coaching is about. Coaching is about you sharing, your passion. It's about you also sharing what worked for you, what has worked for your clients. And if you don't have clients, start to even just reach out and say to people that hey, I'm taking on 3 free clients. And it just will allow you to get used to how do you talk to people. That nervous feeling that you have in the pit of your stomach will go away. I promise, guys. My first time I had to speak in front of 200 people at a gym where I was teaching, I was shaking. And now, or the first time I taught at Hippocrates, or the first time I actually, I did, credits for actually these psychiatrists, and I had to talk about mood and food. I was like, oh my God. But, you take a deep breath, and I always say to my higher ups, like, put the words in my mouth. Get out of your way, Rachel. It's not about you. It's about being here and being of service. And when we think about that, we stay true to our mission. Yes, Dawn, in the beginning, and even as I had to train myself to get over, even though I seem like an extrovert, I'm not. I was just at a birthday party with my daughter tonight, and I actually said to one of the moms who was there, I said, I go into a room full of like people, and it's overwhelming. I feel a lot of energy in there, and it took me years to realize that it's not that I was anxious. I just didn't know what to do with the energy. My son's very similar to that. And so, some of us do have more anxiety. Are people going to like me? What are they going to think? Is this, and some of us don't. And we're just different people, and that's fine. But if you have that, I'm telling you, you're not alone. And I speak here from having great success in my health coaching business, great success with my business, always, and sustainable success. So if you feel that way, get over it. Do some, affirmations, deep breaths. I'm more than happy to also share my system for how I've trained my brain. So anyway, have a great night, guys. Don't forget to look at your replay page. And if you feel that anyone would benefit from this series, please send them the link. And that's about it. So if you have questions, remember, 20% ends tomorrow on the 21st at 9 p.m. So if you need to talk to me, call me. If you need to set up a time to say what would be good, like Dawn had some questions, Dawn, feel free, just reach out to me. I want you to make the right decision for your business. And I know with the right decisions that feel in alignment, that's when also the money comes. And the money also comes when it's clear to the potential client what they're going to get. Yes. Okay. Christelia. Oh, you have a gorgeous name. Okay. So, oh, so happy to meet you. Okay. You're in Australia. No problem. So you're Sunday morning. Um, I'm more than happy if you want to Skype with me right now. I will actually just put my Skype in here. We could Skype now. We could, I would say also, 100% if you're in Australia. The other thing is, if you're in another part of the world at a different season, we do have detoxes from all seasons. So winter, spring, summer, fall. So if you are looking for a detox, I can show you any other season. And then, yes, we can definitely, right after this, Priscilla, if you want to add me to your Skype and send me a Skype request, I will end this and then we can get on Skype. And for anyone else as well who needs to communicate with me tonight or tomorrow, please schedule. It's 1 a.m. here. Anita, it is 8 p.m. So Anita, if you need to talk tomorrow, because I know that I can't believe you stayed up for this. You're so committed. If you want to schedule with me tomorrow, Anita, because you're in the UK, shoot me an email and I'm going to give you my direct email, guys, right here. This goes always directly to me. Send me an email so we can schedule a time tomorrow. If you need to talk, you can send me a text. But if you're in the UK or another part of the world, I want you not to use, your minutes or anything. You can just get on Skype. So let me know, Anita. And also, Christelia, I'm going to get off this, and then we can hop on Skype. Again, if anyone else needs to talk to me, needs to set up a session, let's just book it and we will get right on it. And it has just been a pleasure to be with you. Again, refer to your replay page. I'm not going to send out a replay. Thank you, Tony. I'm happy you're pumped. I'm pumped you're in my life, and I'm pumped that everyone who is on this call has taken time to commit to their business, because when you commit to your business, you're actually committing to help the world. I mean, I say that and it's like, feel it in my heart, because there's so much sickness out there. There's so much misinformation. I think that us as coaches is about giving information to people so that they feel empowered, not disempowered. Empowered and not disempowered. Okay. I will add that, but if you can add me, that would be great, and then send me a request, because this will go away as soon as I close out. So it's been awesome to be with you guys. It's been awesome to see you guys on Facebook. I am going to end our Facebook Live right now. Don't have your Skype. Oh, here's my Skype. Okay. And that is for all of you. There's my Skype, right in the chat box. So if you need to Skype with me, please let me know. Again, I will put this document on the replay page. It's been awesome to be with you guys. And I can't wait to, help anyone who needs direction and support. Okay, I will then take yours. Not a problem. Okay. Oh, maybe you guys, maybe I can only see it. Okay, that's funny because I'm actually typing to all panelists. So I will just, here. Hold on. Give me 1 second. All right, guys, so it's been awesome. Again, if you have any questions, hit me up on the sales page at www.yourhealthcoachbiz.com, and I will personally answer your question.